Let's take a look at the workflow module in Manage Artworks. Let's start a new project by clicking on Start New Project link. The system opens up an artwork request form. It's a basic form which has information related to the product, the component type, the category, brand, SKU, pack size, and reason for change. There are only two mandatory fields, which is the product name, where you can type in any information related to the product, and the component type itself. You can then upload any file, any format, and tag them as a brief or a key line or a reference document, and the system automatically manages the versions and the time and the person who uploaded it. Then set the users who would be working on the different tasks in the workflow. You can set up multiple people. For example, the approval of the artwork can be set for multiple people in parallel, and you can add more people at any stage that you want to. So once you have added the basic information, uploaded files, and set up the users who would work on the task, click on the Initiate New Request button to start the workflow. The system automatically sends out an email notification to the people who are involved in the workflow, and they can just use the link in the email to access the Manage Artworks request. So before we get into the actual approval of the request, let's take a look at the workflow and how it's set up in Manage Artworks. The workflow process starts by a user initiating a project, and it then goes to the next task where inputs related to the artwork are uploaded. Artwork inputs could include copy information or spec. It could include die lines and key lines, or any reference files that would be used by the designer to create the artwork. The artwork inputs, once uploaded, are reviewed, and if there are any changes required, sent back to the person who created it so that the uploaded version can be updated. Once the inputs are reviewed, all the information goes to the designer to create the artwork, and the designer then uploads the artwork PDF into Manage Artworks. The PDF then moves to the reviewers. Again, you could have one or more reviewers, and there are two review cycles. So one is a review cycle and the other is an approve cycle, and at each stage you could either approve or reject the artwork. If you reject the artwork, it moves back to the designer to make the update and upload another version of the artwork, and it comes back to the reviewers and the approvers. Once the review is complete and the approve is complete, the artwork then comes maybe to a QA person who now releases the artwork for production. Once the artwork is released, the system automatically pushes the artwork into the asset library, and that becomes the final approved artwork. The color coding on this process flowchart is to show that what are mandatory activities. The ones marked in green are mandatory activities, and the ones marked in orange are optional. So at the least, you would have to initiate a project, upload the artwork, approve the artwork, and then the system automatically pushes the approved artwork into the asset library. So this is how the Manage Artworks workflow process is set up so that you can go through each of these activities.